years. So many of you have probably seen this presentation before, but we want to make you aware of some changes, and there are some changes at VAVA this year. So just hang in there with us. Yeah, about 45 minutes. And as always, we just want to give each of you every opportunity to get off to a really great start. Since you're a returning student, you know about virtual education, that there is a lot placed in your hands, right? You have a lot of control over your schedule, and we want to just kind of remind you of some of the great habits that you need to be into, remind you of who to go to when you need help, and also, like I say, to let you know about any policies that might have changed this year at VAVA. So welcome to your 2021-22 school year. As always, we have students all over the state of Virginia. We do have some new district partners this year. And this year we have some what is called in-district students, and that's not going to be any of you because you are returning students. But just to be aware, those are going to be, some of your classmates this year may actually be part-time with us. All right. So my name is Mrs. Cantrell. Hopefully you guys remember me, and you probably have received a couple of email communications from me this week about Star 360s and one with our school newsletter. Just want to reintroduce myself and tell you that I am available to you. It is a huge priority to me to make sure that our students are equipped with all of the resources that they need to be successful at this school. So you feel free to email me at any time. And if I don't know the answer, I'm going to direct you to whoever can. Mrs. Carter could not be with us today, but as a reminder, she is our Assistant Academic Administrator of Special Programs. Some of you are very familiar with her. All right, and these are the ladies who you are very, very familiar with, hopefully. And if you are not, just want to remind you who these ladies are. Over here on the left side, this is for ninth graders. Ninth graders, you're the blue box, okay? Your academic advisors and Strong Start specialists are Mrs. Bond and Mrs. Williams. Also, Mrs. Reinert is your school counselor. Of course, Mrs. Reinert joined us midway through last year. I think most of our current 10th graders are familiar with who she is, but I'm going to let Ms. Reinert and anyone else who is on the ninth grade team hop on the mic and introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Reinert. I'm the ninth grade school counselor. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to be with you all again this year. Mrs. Cantrell was right, I did start mid-year last year, but it was amazing, and I do see some familiar names from last year for our rising 10th graders, so that's super exciting. Feel free to email me and say hi. But I'm so excited for you all and can't wait for the year to start. And I'm not sure what other ninth grade team members are here, but the advisors are amazing. So can't wait to start working with you all.
All right, thanks, Ms. Reinert. I know that the 10th graders are going to miss you, but the good news is they've got a great support team too. So 10th graders this year, look at the yellow box. This year, Mrs. Moorbacher will be your Strong Start specialist. Mrs. Moorbacher could not be with us today. Her daughter had an orientation at the same time, but I believe that Mrs. Mercer is here. Mrs. Mercer, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting school year. I know you all will miss working with Ms. Reinert and the Strong Start specialist from last year, which were previously called academic advisors. But I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And best wishes for a successful school year.
All right, that brings us to the green box. This is going to be for our upperclassmen. Congratulations, juniors and seniors. You have Mrs. Clem as your Strong Start specialist, and I know that she is with us today. Mrs. Clem, would you like to say hey?
Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's so good to see your faces. If there's anything I can do to help you, please just email me. Welcome back, and I wish you the best this year.
All right. Now, juniors and seniors, you do have separate counselors. If you're an 11th grader, your counselor is going to be Ms. Keziah, who also could not be with us at this. Oh, nope, there she is. Ms. Keziah, you want to hop on and say hello?
I was gonna say I'm here for a little bit. Like Miss Moorbacher, my daughter has Meet the Teacher, so I'm gonna be in and out. But I'm the 11th grade counselor. I'm also the AP coordinator and gonna be sending communication about pre-SAT. So if you're underclassmen or 12th grade, you've also probably heard from me. I know I kind of confuse my 12th graders. I'm not your counselor, but you will still hear from me with AP. So it's nice to still hear from you.
Thanks, Ms. Keziah. We appreciate you being here when you can. And last but not least, Dr. Bookard is going to be the counselor for you seniors. And probably a little bit of each of you have heard from Dr. Bookard. She is our lead counselor.
Thank you, Ms. Cantrell. Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be the senior counselor for this school year, and I look forward to helping you reach that final milestone of your final year of high school. And yes, we will have a graduation, a face-to-face graduation. We had a great one last year, so I look forward to seeing all of your smiling faces as you walk across that stage. Look forward to working with you, and happy new school year.
Thanks, Dr. Bookard. All right, this next slide, while your counselor is fresh on your mind, I wanted to show you and remind each of you what you actually go to them for. Specifically, transcripts, what SOLs do you need to take, what class requirements do you have, what is a graduation plan, and we call that a grad plan, and where can you locate it, what is dual enrollment, information about AP courses, PSATs, SATs, ACTs, or AP exams, or any information about taking courses outside of VAVA. All of those things, what they share in common is that they all have to do with what you need to do to graduate. And so all of those questions are going to be appropriate for your counselors if you have them, okay? On the topic of graduation, though, this is so exciting to me. Of course, we've already had 2 new student orientations, and we showed them this same slide. But to me, this is even more meaningful to share with you guys who are returning students at our school. And some of you even who I've known since my first year at VAVA, which was 2016. And some of you were like middle schoolers at that time. So I just want to encourage you that this is our goal. All right, it's our goal as a staff. It should be your goal as students and families, getting you to that finish line. I always like to remind you that there's this light at the end of the tunnel once you're in high school. And even you 9th graders, coming from middle school, 9th grade is like the start of that process to get you to this culmination of your school years, which is graduation. And this is something that we take very seriously, and we want to help you in every way to be successful and get to this finish line. So what we're going to talk about today with you returning VAVA students is how to be successful at VAVA this year. We are going to spend some time talking about attendance because there are a couple of changes. No, not a major deal, but there are a couple of changes to your attendance process. Where to go to for resources, and then we're going to talk about the schedule for about the next couple of weeks specifically. All right, so let's start with attendance. You, as returning families, are familiar with the fact that when we refer to attendance, there are kind of 3 different things that we're talking about. One is what your learning coach logs for you, and that is how we monitor your attendance for the state's purposes. That is generally 990 hours that is expected of you if you are a full-time student with us. Now, some of you seniors and possibly even juniors may not be carrying a full load. So if you don't have a full load of classes, your hour requirement is not going to be 990. And we have a chart available in FYP and on our school website that shows you exactly what those hourly requirements are. But this one is the far left, learning coach, that's logging your attendance on the app or whatever. Just as a reminder, students, you are expected to log into the OMH each day and complete what is on your plan. This type of attendance is monitored by your teacher. Of course, you know that we have this little log where we can see the exact time that you logged in, the exact time that you logged out, how much time you spent on each part of your lesson. that sort of thing. But we also expect you to attend Class Connects Live. There is a change. If you'll look at this box, instead of 15% of your grade this year, your Class Connect attendance is going to be 10% of your grade. So that is, definitely a change from how we have operated for the past several years. Also want to mention, as always, if you cannot attend live, if you have a conflict, you should watch the recording and make sure that you get your Class Connect attendance quiz done, okay? All right. This is, I think, a reminder. I don't know that this has changed since last year, but as a reminder, this is kind of the schedule that our school attendance specialist, Mrs. Arkelian, follows. So if you do not log attendance for one day, you're going to get an automated notification. If you have not logged attendance for 3 days, that kind of alarms us. So she is going to send you an email to let you know that. And I won't read the rest of this chart, but this is kind of the table that she uses, and she wanted us to share with you just so you're aware of that. All right, and this is new. See this little star right here? New this year. If you log vacation days, we're going to ask you to fill out this survey and let us know the reason for your absence. And this is a very standard practice, as you probably remember from your brick and mortar school, so that we know whether it is an excused absence or an unexcused absence. So just make sure that you fill out this form if you logged vacation days. All right, pop quiz time. Make sure you're all paying attention. When you need to take a day off, should you, A, just do it, it's virtual school, B, mark a day off on the calendar in the OMHS and fill out the excused absence form, or C, email your teachers? All right, you guys are good sports. Seeing a lot of B's in the chat, and that is what I was going for. Now, I want to say it is absolutely okay to email your teachers. Always better to over communicate than to under communicate. But what you absolutely have to do is B. Yeah, that's a good answer, Christina. B and C. All right. All right, so let's talk about communication and just refresh ourselves on what the communication expectation is. You are all familiar with our model that you have a learning coach to assist you in this process. I see some learning coaches with us today, and I really appreciate your being here. So as a student, when you run into a problem, the first thing we want you to do is check your available resources. And we're going to go over on the next slide what those available resources are. If you still haven't figured out the answer to your question, that's when you lean first on your learning coach, because your learning coach is that second layer of support. Maybe he or she can assist you in utilizing those resources, and maybe you can get your problem solved. If not, that is when we want you to, by all means, reach out to your advisor or teacher. And as you are all aware, as returning students, all teachers hold office hours. Those will start next week, even though regular Class Connects will not start until the week of the 30th. All teachers will start office hours beginning next week. So they're available there. They are available via email. And many of them don't even mind text communication or communication via Remind. But the important thing is that you do reach out and let them know when you need help, okay? That's what we've got to do in this situation where we don't see each other physically every day. We don't know to help you, until and unless you reach out. All right. Oh, the last thing, make sure your communication is specific. So, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but here is your list of resources. So when I suggested to you, if you have a question, check your available resources, the 5 bullets at the top of this slide this is really how I would check, and in this order. First, I would check emails. and see if maybe something has been missed there. I want to tell you that I do this from time to time for sure. You know, oh, wait, I can't remember what date did my colleagues say that this was going to be on. Sometimes I just search that colleague's name in my email inbox, and there come up the emails from that individual, and sure enough, I missed something. So you have the ability to do that too. You know, it's a good practice to be in. Also check your course announcements. As lead teacher, I really encourage other teachers to utilize that course announcement board to communicate important things that have happened, like maybe there is a maybe there's a question that the answer has been entered wrong in a test, like maybe there's a technical error. I am coaching them to say, go ahead and put that on your class announcement board as soon as a couple of students have emailed you, so that it's out there and everybody is aware. So check your class announcement boards. All right, the third one is the VAVA High School website. If you've been with us for more than 2 years, you know that we have worked so hard. And actually, when I say we, it's really one individual on our staff, Kevin Murphy, who has worked so hard to build a really great website that has useful links for you. And we're going to actually do a web tour of that at the very end of our hour. But you guys, I'm telling you, almost everything that you need to know, especially for right now, at the beginning of school, is on our website somewhere. So please bookmark that site. Also, the advisor YouTube channel. Mrs. Clem, Mrs. Moorbacher, Mrs. Bond, and Mrs. Williams worked so hard on that last year. They made just a plethora of videos. And I think this is so smart, because that's what do I do when I don't know how to perform a task? I go to YouTube. That's the first thing that I do. And so they have created all these amazing tutorials for you. Just want to remind you, if you didn't already know, that that is there. All right, and finally, the Buzz is our high school newsletter. I try to publish this on the first week of each month, and I try to include the most important dates that are coming up, and as well as any like here and now events. So that is a resource to you as well. Now, the last two bullets, of course, include reach out to an individual. By all means, we want you to reach out to individuals. We want to hear from you. But just make sure that you are aware that you have these other resources available to you first, okay? All right, and you know what? I forgot to mention this. We are going to wait until the very end to take questions. Definitely want to get your questions answered. But if you guys will be patient, it's possible that I may answer whatever question you have before you even have to ask it, okay? All right, Strong Start support opportunities. Our advisors are hosting office hours on the following 2 days, Friday, August 20th, and Tuesday, August 24th. So tomorrow is the first one of those. Take advantage of that if you need to. And then Learning Coach Q&As were really successful last year, so we're offering those again on Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Those should appear on your Class Connect schedule. Oh, now this is just a reminder of specific communications. And I think this is very important to remind even you returning students about, okay? And the reason I'm saying this is because we can help you a lot faster if you will communicate to us in the following way. One of these examples is an example of good communication, and the other is an example of a not so great communication. If you want to type in the chat which one is the right one. Okay, yep, the second one, choice B, the one on the right, that's the one I'm happy that you chose, okay? Believe it or not, I didn't literally copy and paste this one on the left, but I certainly have received communications like this before. Many of you, we know already, like I'm looking at people right now who I've communicated regularly with in the past 24 hours, but it is still really, really helpful when you include your first and last name. When you're communicating with your teachers, make sure you tell them what class it's for, because most of them teach more than one class. And as a bonus, I put on here the student ID number. That's not entirely necessary, especially for you returning students, but sometimes if you have a name that might be kind of common, you know, Bob Smith. I don't think anybody is named Bob Smith in here. I know a guy named Bob Smith, but anyway, if you have kind of a common name, it is a good idea to include your student ID number. All right, so yes, if you selected the one on the right, you are correct. Oh, now here's a pop quiz. This was more so for the new students. I think you guys know this already, but how do you find your student ID if you don't know that already? Anybody know? Okay, Zoe, it's on your grad plan. Is that true, Ms. Dr. Booker? Okay, I didn't even know that.
That is correct.
All right, great. I figured if Zoe said that was correct. Great. Account info, good. All of you know where to find your student ID. You're going to need that for several things, especially at the beginning of the year. So just make sure that you know where to find that. And I also asked this question to illustrate the point that there are several different ways to find information sometimes. For example, I sent instructions to all students with a PDF. So that's one way. There's a tutorial on the VAVA website. There's also a tutorial at help.k12.com. So often for the questions you have, there are several different ways to find it. I think the advisors also made a video too, didn't they, Mrs. Clem? All right, guys, so we're wrapping it up here. I just want to remind you about the right way and the wrong way. If you are a 10th grade student or above, then you have seen these exact reminders, but I think that it is worth reviewing each year, what a successful student at VAVA does daily and weekly, okay? Oh, and yes, I noticed that actually. Why does the right way point to the left? That is kind of odd, isn't it? But the right way to be a student, the way to be a successful student at VAVA, to daily check your email and announcement boards. Ideally, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. As we said, there may be a time when you have to search for something in between there, but just generally speaking, a couple of times is good. Make a schedule. We know this every school year, right? You might make a goal for yourself. I'm going to make a schedule. I'm going to stick to it. I challenge you to stick to your schedule this year and see what a difference that will make in your studies. Block these specific times to do things. Look at your schedule on Sunday and decide how you're going to plan your asynchronous lessons around your class connects. But get off to a great start with that, okay? Make sure you're following your plan in the OMHS. Try to avoid those overdue notices. Check your grades 2 or 3 times weekly. I have to tell you, I know that the overdues happen. I know that they happen, but I want to really, really encourage you not to rely on your overdue notices. If you kind of observe a drop in a grade, immediately go to your grade book and see where you have zeros. Wherever you have zeros, that means that you didn't get something turned in. More than likely, you still have the opportunity to turn that in. So once you get that done, what happens to your zero? Tell me in the chat. What happens to your zero once you turn in an assignment? Yes. And you guys have probably seen that little message, right, from teachers. Your zero will be replaced by the grade that you earn, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So that's going to be the quickest way to resolve a less than desirable grade. Go to your grade book, figure out what you've got missing. All right. Also, we want you to use all of the available resources that we have mentioned. And Olivia, on that note, I'm going to show you where that vacation form can be found on our VAVA website at the very end of this, okay? Make sure that you reach out, communicate to people when you need help in whatever capacity that is. Maybe that's academic help. Maybe that is, you know, I feel a little bit overwhelmed right now and I need to see if my counselor can see me. We are all here to support you. And remember, I put the little asterisk down here, staff is expected to respond within a school day, especially at this time of the year. You guys know this, the email volume is pretty high. So it's not necessarily going to expedite a response, you know, to send a certain staff member several emails. Give us a little bit of time and we'll get back to you. Usually well within 24 hours, but that is the expectation, okay? All right, learning coaches, this is for you, just some reminders that it is also a good idea for learning coaches to check email and announcement boards regularly. To monitor your students' success and engagement. We do not expect that this means that you're going to stand over top of your student, but just that you will check in and make sure that they have completed things at the end of the day. Also, try to utilize the resources that we've, I think, mentioned probably a half a dozen times now. And stay organized. I like to say this is a really great time for the next couple of days before academic courses begin. It's a really great time to set up your workspace for your student and make sure that they are setting up files for each course, just you know, setting up some good infrastructure for the year. Make sure that you are checking on their grades a couple of times weekly and know what their Class Connect schedule is. All right, again, I think you are familiar with this, but maybe the antithesis of all of the things that we have discussed on the previous slides, that is going to result in an unsuccessful experience during your school year. And we are especially hopeful that you will get some good practices put into place so that we get to meet each of you at that really special graduation ceremony, you know, when it is your time. Just a reminder about our academic integrity policy. It is the same as it's been for the past couple of years, which means that plagiarism is pretty easily identified in this setting. All right, we use the software program Turnitin. You all really should know this by the time that you're in high school, but copying and pasting answers from the internet is not an acceptable practice in virtual school or elsewhere. So make sure that you hold yourself to high standards and make sure that everything that you submit is your own work, all right? All right, how many times is ideal for checking email? In the chat. All right, 2 times or the letter B, that is correct. Definitely want to check it more than 0 times, and 10 is probably overkill. If you're checking your email 10 times a day, you might not be spending as much time on your lessons as we would like. So 2 is pretty good. All right, you guys, final important announcements. Here's a little list of dates that will be important for you to know in the next week or two. First of all, if you look up at the little blue, what is that? That's not really a star. Maybe it's a star-ish shape. Teachers are going to offer office hours, excuse me, until regular CCs begin. And that is actually the wrong date. Class Connects start on the 30th. I don't know how I missed that, Dr. Booker, but Class Connects do start the week of the 30th, and teachers will hold office hours until then. On the 23rd, that is Monday, now 5 days from now, you will have your academic courses loaded. No, I know I've gotten a lot of questions from you this week, like, why am I not seeing my courses? Well, that was intentional. For this first week, you were supposed to have just your orientations courses and your FYP, and you were supposed to get your STAR 360s done. But Monday is go time. So also on Monday, we will do our traditional back to school blasts. So we'll do 9th grade at 10 o'clock, 10th grade at 11 o'clock, and then we'll do juniors and seniors together at noon. Those sessions will only be about a half hour, but we do look forward to seeing you all there. And then September 7th is your last day to add or drop a class. To do that, you will need to fill out a form in FYP and Finding Your Path. So make sure that you're trying to make a decision. All right. If you are thinking about adding or dropping a class, you got to do that by September 7th. All right. Finally, what should you be doing for now? One, you probably have already taken your STAR 360s. I'm looking at a couple of folks in here who I'm really proud of. I know you've got them all done. If you haven't, no worries. Just please try to get them done by tomorrow. Email your advisor or myself if you're having a hard time logging in for some reason. Just again, your graded courses, meaning your academic courses, will appear by Monday, which is our first day of the academic year. And then you probably have already started to receive emails from your teachers. So teachers were sending welcome emails between Wednesday and Friday. So just make sure that you are reading through that information and kind of getting to know your teachers, okay? All right, I'm going to let Dr. Booker do this brief announcement. This is kind of random, I know, but it's really important that we reiterate to this to you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Cantrell. Just wanted to reemphasize that the rule for our courses not being NCAA approved, it's just a friendly reminder. We emphasized that at the beginning of last year, and every school year we just put that out as a reminder. Also, if you are interested in playing school sports and you are a full-time student with us, remember Ms. Cantrell said that some of you'll have some classmates who are taking courses with us part-time and some are full-time. If you're interested in playing school sports with your local school district, you will have to get special permission from the school principal. That is something that you would need to contact the school and inquire about what that process will look like and if it's even approved. So just wanted to remind you of these two important matters as we start the school year.
Thanks, Dr. Booker. All right, just a quick reminder of where you can go for help. On the tech helpline, I'm not going to read through each one of these, but I would remind you that one resource that let's go back, sorry, there we go, that I haven't referenced too much is help.k12.com. That's a really good one to bookmark at this time of the year. They have a lot of really great help articles. If you just kind of type whatever issue you're having in the search box, they usually have several articles there. But the tech help phone number is on here too. That's something that, you know, just it happens. We have to utilize that, especially at these busy times of the year. Also, here is a page with our emails on it. Hopefully, as returning students, you know these already. But if you don't, you have noticed probably the little formula. It's our first initial, last name @vavirtual.org. All right, now, before we take questions, I'm going to do one last thing, and let's stop sharing here. And I'm going to reshare my other screen, which is going to show you our website. Can you guys see that? Great, Dr. Booker.
Wait, it's coming. It's still Okay, there it is. You're ready.
Got it? Okay. Returning students, this is our website. If you've never used this before, please bookmark it, because we do our best to put like the most up-to-date information on here. For example, last year, when I think you guys all will remember that it seemed like daily the information about SOLs was changing. And I will confidently tell you that that wasn't changes that we at VAVA were making, but it was changes from like the State Department down. It was just a crazy year. They were trying to make the best decisions, but it still was very difficult to communicate. So every time something changed, this was the first place where we updated that information. So I just want to, first of all, Olivia asked a while back, where do I find this attendance form? Well, there's now an attendance link right there on the homepage. And there it is. There's your excused absence form. There's also some tutorials here on how to log attendance, how to mark a vacation day. And just really quickly, I wanted to direct you to 2 places. One is helpful links. This one is going to have the advisor YouTube channel, which would also be a really good link to bookmark. And just a ton of different items here, okay, that you will likely find very helpful. And the last place I wanted to direct you is if you go under more to academics and down to assessment and SOL, here's where you'll find current assessment information. So right now, that's star 360s. Come SOL time, you're going to see SOL information right here. Does that make sense? And, you know, maybe if there's any of you who have been having issues logging into star 360, maybe this is a good place to start. Maybe this link will work better for you. But I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing